Good day. Welcome to Mystic Moons. I hope everyone is doing well. It's the start of a new week. And a week almost like a countdown to something that we all feel in our guts, in our innards, but we don't know exactly what it is. So let's explore a little bit of this and a little bit of that on today's Mystic Moons journey. So everybody hop on board. Don't push, don't rush. We'll take our time and get into the space shuttle and just circle over the United States. So we're almost ready to launch. And for my subscribers who are joining me, welcome. Welcome to an adventure, a psychic adventure, to questions and things that we don't normally hear in our media world. All right, everybody's seatbelts buckled, psychic caps on. Are you ready? All right, let's take off. Now, today we're going to ask a personal question. We're going to address a personal rumor that's floating around. And there's no answer to it, really. I mean, nobody's come forth, but they keep on asking it. It's about Kamala Harris, Ms. Harris, VP of the United States. Now, she's seems like a very pleasant person, service-wise, always quick to laugh. But there's been some speculation about her soundness. And mainly in terms of, since she started her public speaking, she has her own unique way of speaking. It was today, that tomorrow is the day after today is tomorrow. Since tomorrow is today, then today is tomorrow. And if tomorrow was today, then it's the day of tomorrow. Like that. I mean, that was absolutely rubbish. It was absolutely rubbish. I mean, that's the way she speaks with everything. She seems to take like 3 or 4 keywords of a sentence thrown at her, and she inverts it about 5 or 6 times. I don't know what the hell I just said. Maybe you do, but I'm sure that's her style. Well, the fact that she speaks it's almost like biblical parables, right? She speaks weird. She speaks weird. And then you would think that somebody who was legally trained, law school, DA, etc., that she would have a brevity to her and a point blank type of detailed way of speaking. I mean, most lawyers know how to speak and they know how to write. However, Ms. Harris seems to, somewhere along the line, it's not necessary. And there's another thing, too. She always has her mouth open. Now, this is the same thing Joe Biden does a lot, keeps his mouth open. For someone who's only 60 years old, she certainly keeps her mouth open quite a bit. So it's the fact that she's always, the way she articulates, and her facial mouth drop, or mouth being open, that's lead one to speculate, is she, a lot of people, medical people have come forth and said, she sounds like she's in early stages. And of course, there's no surprise when you have a president who can't do a second term, not because of old age and because he's slipping. We all know that Joseph has been slipping. Now here we have, does it make sense now? I mean, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. They do not compute. They do not add up. And also, too, we have this money problem. Apparently, Ms. Harris spent like $1 billion, and she's still 20 mil in debt. And I don't understand why she rolled out all those Diddy, Epstein celebs to speak for her, to say how great she was. We're a little the people of this country are a little zoned out, are a little tired of people who have lots of money saying how great they are. how great my friend is, because they wouldn't be friends if they didn't have lots of cash. And I mean, it would have been more heartwarming to see a postman, a librarian, a common tech worker, anybody who's not a millionaire. Let's put it that way. I mean, you can make like six figures, fine, or you can make like 5 figures, fine, but just be like ordinary or the proletariat, something, not like just coming vaulted high status in terms of monetary, private planes, things like that, personal cooks, and just tell us how great that the life is. We're having a hard time. We're having a hard time. In case like someone didn't notice, the masses in the United States are being treated like asses. The masses are asses here in the United States, and we're getting a little sick of it. Anyway, straying. So let's just we're going to dissect this rumor, psychic. We're going to ask the spirits to take us to a psychic journey into the ether and find out, is that rumor that Kamala Harris is in early stage dementia? All right, we'll take 3. No, we'll take some cards. We'll see. That's rather curious because no position is going to say, yes, your president and your vice president are Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Right? Nobody's going to say it. Be scared shitless. And of course, can't blame them. But let's shuffle this some more. Let's find out if... First, let me check to make sure we don't have any inverts. Because, inverts, it's disappointing. Not disappointing, but it's just, it's a thing. That must be my KH, thing. Anyway, let's see now. Kamala, are you going senile? Are you senile? Okay, this card speaks to me. This one. Is that rumor correct that you are having a hard time grasping what is real? Well, I'm sure there's a lot of things real to you, but a politician should be able to feel for his constituents, correct? No matter how much greens they are floating in. They're not really supposed to lose touch. All right, now let's ask... Let's have a guide. Okay, now, let's see now. The first card we pulled out, took out 4 cards, 4 random cards. Perhaps they'll give us some yay or nay. Okay, the first card we get is the Queen of Cups. All right. Is this Miss Harris being receptive to all? She's not quite that receptive, is she? So let's see. The idea maybe is not exactly fable. Second card we have is the 7 of Cups. Almost as though we're like observing and we don't want to really go there, but you're like, it's possible. It's being considered. It's losing all that money. I mean, not taxpayer money. It's hard to get. It's easy to spend. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles. I have no idea what all this means so far. Let's see now. We have Cups, nurturing. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the 7 of Cups. And we have the Convention, the 9 of Pentacles. The effort, the pageantry, the setup. But then anyway, that's not the question. The question is the rumor. Is the fact that she has dementia, yes or no? And here we have the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Cups is different from the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Cups is more fluid, more yielding. The Queen of Swords is more point blank. And in between that, we have the Seven of Cups, and we have the presentation, the spectacle, the high profile spectacle. So we're going to have to do a little digging because it's still, I just see a lot of, well, queens. And I see people not wanting to deal with it. We have women in high places, and I'm not looking at this. I'm not dealing with this. Now, what does that mean? I'm not looking and I'm not dealing. So the first thing we'll do the Queen of Cups. We'll take 2 cups. We'll take 2 cards. And we'll see what these 2 cards have to say. I just pulled them off of the shuffle deck. And we have here the Knight of Wands, and we have 7 of Wands. Under the Queen of Cups. Now we have the Queen of Cups. This is the makeup of it. A fighting scene, a battle, and we have arguments. We have could this Queen of Cups be deflated from all the antagonism and arguments and just trying to hold firm? It's very well. The Queen of Cups could very well be a deflated Harris, a deflated VP, because she's been having to fight, chew people out, fight. And we're both dealing with a lot of fire, right? Wands. And she's just like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. This isn't a leave me alone Queen of Cups. So this queen is, don't speak to me. Leave me alone. Shut up. Shut up or I'll cut off your head type of, In other words, if this was the Wizard of Oz, this would not be the first fairy. This would not be Gwendola, whatever the good witch was called. This is a negative. You better shut up. You better not talk about it. This is that. This is somebody who's agitated, an agitated Queen of Cups. Okay, so we have an agitated Queen of Cups. Now let's look at this 9 of Pentacles. Let's look at this 9 of Pentacles here. 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. You see this? 9 of Pentacles. Let's see what this presentation, and of course we could always say that was a convention, but is it enough? Well, maybe let's just look at it anyway. It's a curio. Definitely a curio. Because, everything was all set up for her. She squashed Joe out. She had the whole party machine behind her. What's the problem? All right. Well, the Knight of Swords. And she was given the hero's welcome. That's what this is all about. She was given the whole party. All the Biden do-re-mi, the Biden dough, the Biden cash. And she still, she had a lot going for her. They were rolling her out like she was the Queen of Sheba, the 7th wonder of the world. She had all that roll out, all that cash, all that hoo. She had all that. This is the, okay, so that was obvious. That was obvious. Now let's see however, this we have is the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords could be somebody who was backstabbing her. Let's see. Also, too, it could also be her condition. It's her condition that she knew that your secrets are going to come out. You're not, well, we'll just see. So we can speculate what it was. We'll just ask the spirits, what is this Queen of Swords? This Queen of Swords, what is it? What is this Queen of Swords? This card here. What is this Queen of Swords? Is it obvious? Okay. We have this card we'll take out, and let's see, this one speaks. Okay. We have these two cards we pulled out of the shuffle deck. Here we have the Ace of Wands, and we have the Four of Swords. Under the Queen of Swords. So, they knew that she would not. They have some kind of plan. There's some kind of plan that it seems to be. They knew that she was slow on the uptake, slow. They knew that it's almost as though it was necessary. We have the pause, and we have this great idea under the Queen of Swords. So this pause next to it's almost as though they set her up to fail. They set her up to, get rid of her. It was like almost as though they put the big party machine behind her for reasons that she was just kind of being used. Because we have the Four of Swords, the waiting 4 weeks, waiting for a bright idea, another person to come out of the closet, take over. There's a plan in mind. This is a suspicious Queen of Swords. In other words, there was a suspicious directive that was underway all the time that this negative Queen of Cups was sitting on top of an explosive infighting. And maybe they were just trying to have her business aired out so she could be put to rest. Maybe it was intentional. So here we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups, which is objectively looking at something and not exactly being overwhelmed with anything, looking at all the possibilities, almost like it was a deviant matter. There was definitely a plan in action that Miss Harris, she was suspecting. I mean, there was a lot of people that wanted to jump ship. It wasn't smooth sailing at all. Maybe that's why she has this $20 million bill, IOU, on top of the $1 billion she already spent. But still, it's like when you feel bad, you go shopping. When you want to win friends over, you spend, you pick up the tab. Things like that. That kind of thing. And who better to do that than somebody who's a little fatigued, I'll put it that way, a little early stage dementia. Was it she just taking advantage of? Now, these two cards I picked out. Let's see what they are for this Seven of Cups. the Seven of Cups. It seems to be in the Seven of Cups, they knew all her problems. They knew all her faults. They were quite aware of it. And they were in a pickle. And of course, we all know it's the uniparty. So that's another subject, but we're talking about Kamala. Now, the Emperor, male energy, so it was directed. I think she was like put up. I think she does. She definitely has some need for vacation, some need for not so much of a strong workload. And this was a way publicly to quiet her. She certainly had a lot of laundry. Her husband, nanny, pregnant, slapping ex girlfriend, all these things. All these things. From the grand brouhaha to the. And of course, the old age things, so I would say the old age things a lot of politicians fall on, which is like feed the hungry, the poor unfortunates, and all that type of stuff, which really just get the jobs going, get the jobs going. That's as simple as it could be. Get jobs going in this country. However, we like to use a lot of fancy words and say, oh, the poor unfortunates who can't find a job, who can't feed themselves, who can't pay their bills, who can't afford the $12 dozen of eggs, the $7, $10 loaf of bread. Oh, those poor peasants, those poor people. So we have here a negative Queen of Cups, Miss Harris. We have here the machine, the struggle. We have the machine here, the airing her out, putting her out on the field, knowing that she was improperly ready. But that was a good way to this male energy behind the whole scene, this setup. She was set up. And I would say that in her adult state of mind, in her beginning adult state of mind, she's unable to make a clear decision, and her ego was just bouncing with like, I'm going to be the first. Isn't there a saying, I don't want to be your first, but I definitely want to be your last? Something like that. Is another off topic. And then here we have the presentation. We have the war machine, the democratic machine, falling in line with all their billions. Let her have a good time. Let's pretend she's a hero. And throwing out the Knight of Swords, rewriting the speeches. Well, this smells like a very, very backstabbing type of a campaign. And they spent the money to make her look, to show up her flaws. They weren't trying to cover it up. They weren't trying to do her any favors, just like Joe. Joe has been out of it for like most of his term. And the Joe of years ago is not the Joe of today, Joe Biden. We all know that. It's purposely in the people's phase to show us, to make fun of us, to show us who we have rooting for us. It's all very the timing, and this also includes like Diddy's arrest and his party list of who went to his parties, including Ms. Harris. She went to his parties for a long time since Willie Brown's days. So we have here a setup of showing the world that Ms. Harris does not have a full deck, and it's a little cruel. It's cruel. When somebody's afflicted, you're supposed to take them aside and be kind to them. Not, stab them in the back, which that was clearly the purpose. I mean, Mike Pence, he was the VP. He was like obliterated with his arrogance, with his his style. But so how do you get? So I guess that's how you get rid of a VP when the VP seems a little too aggressive, a little too eager. So that's a sad story, but that seems to be the end. And then now, even saying that Ms. Harris should be on the Supreme Court. Why don't we just go to the zoo, right? The zoo. Of all the people in this country, must everybody be addle-brained? Must everybody be compromised? Can't we just have clean cut bureaucracy? Can we just stop with all this theater, this shaming? So I would say yes, from this reading, Ms. Harris does have mental difficulties. She does. And she has enough money. I think we'll have to see what happens to her, but something about this whole layout, though, still smells. It smells. It's like this is just one part of the puzzle. It's incomplete. There's one part of the puzzle. There's more coming. Much more coming in the last, 7 weeks before a new president is elected by the Electoral College. Things are heating up. Lots and fast. So anyway, we know something is wrong with Ms. Harris. Not just because, it's hard to get $20 million in debt and spend $1 million, but we'll leave. We're not going to leave it, but we're going to be like, okay, that's pretty big stakes. And it could have gone for a lot of people, their housing, infrastructure, a lot of things. So, it's not just reflective on Ms. Harris. It's reflective on the political ambitions and style that we have in this country. Waste much, want much. We are not quite real here. Not quite real. And that's the whole thing. We're not real. So anyway, if you have any comments about Ms. Harris, please, before you leave or after you leave, think about it and comment. And to my subscribers who will join this video eventually, please, thank you. And as I said, don't hesitate to put down how you feel about it. So I'm going to go. Ciao.